Welcome back to On the Couch. Once again, I'm Benny Panella.
And I'm Maria Brasco.
Pact5 is a national movement to prevent sexual assault in colleges by encouraging everyone to sign up and register to make the pact.
Here at Rowan, we have our own chapter that has made strides in spreading the message to raise awareness and end sexual assaults. And here to talk about that today is Jessica and Jerald. Thank you guys for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
So why is this so important to you guys specifically?
Well, to me, I do know people who have been sexually assaulted at Rowan and at other colleges. 1 in 5 women and 1 out of 33 men are sexually assaulted every year on college campuses. So that's a really big number when you think that Rowan has 14,000 students. So I think that's why it's such a big deal.
Yeah.
Through my fraternity, we've always been educated since we started joining. We had to complete several programs and to help realize what's going on and how to handle situations like uncomfortable situations and help prevent them. And it's really important to try and spread that awareness that how often this does happen so we can try and prevent it and help everyone and make sure everyone stays safe.
Yeah. I know we're here to talk about Pact5, but I just have to ask you. So I'm a commuter. I've never gone to any frat things. So my idea just from the news and things you hear is all these negative things about fraternities. But after sitting here just talking to you, before the cameras are rolling, you're the chaplain of your fraternity. So, yeah. I mean, it's really cool to see that you guys actually care about this subject and it means something to you guys.
Absolutely. When going through our pledging process, our nationals actually has us do a online program that takes you do it over several weeks, and then you do a follow-up program, and it teaches you about sexual assault, how to recognize when situations are becoming uncomfortable, how to handle alcohol, and when to realize your limits and stuff like that. And we continue it after pledging as well. Last spring we did the Green Dot program and got certified through that, and in this previous fall our alumni set up a educational program for us to help teach us about it, and we had professionals come in and talk to us about risk management for many things like substance abuse, fire and safety, and including sexual assault as well. So we continually try and embed that to be safe and be as helpful as possible to everyone as we can.
Going off what Maria said, unfortunately, the stigma with some fraternities is that there are sexual assaults that happen, and it happens in not just fraternities as well. But unfortunately, in the center of the party life here at Rowan, fraternities are the center of that. Do you feel like your fraternity has made strides in improving the culture?
Absolutely. We always have people that are sober to make sure that everyone stays safe, and to take care of anyone if they are too drunk. We always have them watching and listening to hear if anyone's making anyone uncomfortable. So we always try and make sure that everyone is safe and comfortable at all times, because we don't want that stigma given to our chapter at all.
I think that's really, really, I didn't know that about fraternities, that they actually had things in place like that to have somebody sober. So that's really awesome. And I'm sure people who don't know about fraternities like myself are happy to hear that, because like I said before, so many of the news articles, all you hear is bad, bad, bad. And even I intern at Fox News, and they were talking about how people who are in sororities and fraternities, it's not what everyone cracks it up to be a lot of times. We are a lot smarter and a lot safer than everybody thinks.
And I do feel bad for a lot of fraternities, but they do have the bad rep because of the things that they've gotten. Over to you, Jess. Last year, RTN's very own D. Lugo made a film called $5 for Guys.
Yeah.
Girls Free.
And Girls Free.
Yeah.
What was some of the powerful and impactful things that were taken from that movie?
Okay, so that movie follows a girl. She goes out for a night. She's going to, I believe, a fraternity. And what happened after she got there, when bad things happened, not just that night, but the following days, what she goes through after the sexual assault happened. We actually start with a slam poet who had been through, I believe, a circumstance or knew somebody who had, and we end with the psychologist, and she actually, our actress, interviewed with the psychologist, trying to understand what survivors go through. And I think it's really important for people to understand that it's not just that night. That night is terrible, but there's so much fear and anxiety, depression, PTSD that happens afterwards, that this goes on in their lives for years.
Yeah. So what other things does Pact5 do to get the awareness out there and spread the word?
Well, this year we actually had a table in the Student Center for our first semester where we were just creating awareness about who we are and trying to get people to make the pact. And basically making the pact is a way of saying you're aware of sexual assault, that it can happen to anyone at any time, that you yourself will not commit sexual assault, and you'll step in if you see somebody who is in a dangerous situation, or you'll contact the right authorities if you don't feel safe stepping in. In April, on Monday, April 20th, we're actually doing an event in the pit of the Student Center between 4:30 and 8:30 p.m. where we will be creating awareness. We have 13 Greek and Club Life actually coming in, and they've been surveyed, and they're going to be doing their own special topics of sexual assault. And we're going to have a lieutenant come in, and she's going to teach self-defense courses, and we actually have screenings of all the documentaries, just like 5 for Guys and Girls Free.
That's really cool. I mean, so here's my thing. I think a lot of people are scared to talk about this topic. I think it's very touchy, and I think it's a very serious topic. So as the PR person for Pact5, basically, what do you say to somebody, especially you're at college level, what would you say to somebody who's afraid to talk?
I actually encountered this, and sometimes they're afraid to talk because it's happened to them or someone they know, or sometimes people just don't want to hear it. When I have to go in and talk to a big group of people, I have to kind of remind them throughout that like they can't block me out, that this is such a hard topic, but they need to listen, because if they're not aware of it, then they can't help stop it. And if nobody's listening because it's so hard, then it's just going to keep happening forever.
And what do you think about, some people say, well, was it you? Were you too drunk? Like putting the blame on the other person. How do you handle that?
Well, we actually have one of our sororities, I believe, handling that. No, it was the club. It's Intersectional Feminist Collective is handling slut shaming, which includes the idea that it was the survivor's fault. Girl or guy, it was their fault. They were too provocative. They drank too much. They gave consent while they were drunk, and the person didn't know, like whatever the case may be. They're handling what the rules are about that, what the rights are of the victim, because it's hard. That's why 95% of cases don't actually get reported, because they hear from their friends, their family, other students, the people who did it, that it's their fault, that they said yes in their own way.
Do you, Jerald, do you feel Rowan and Pact5 have done enough to kind of fix or circumvent the sexual assaults that happen around campus?
I think they're doing a great job at like trying to educate everyone and spread awareness about it, which I think is the first way to go about helping cut and reduce the number of sexual assaults that actually occur. I know like my fraternity participated in Green Dot last year, which was sponsored through the health center. And now we're working with Pact5 to try and help spread more awareness. So I think it's growing and it's working a lot better. And they're making great strides.
Tell us about your connection here and how you guys are starting to work together.
Okay, so while I was at my table getting people to make the pact, I was actually approached by different fraternities. I think I actually found you guys.
Probably.
And I was like, hey, I want to do this workshop, and I want Greek Life to get involved. I want them to have to learn about something specifically related to sexual assault, and then I want them to educate the Rowan community.
Yeah.
And they said yes, which is a really
That's
big
really
deal
cool.
because it's a lot of effort.
And it's a great combination as well. We already talked about the event coming up April 20th.
Yes. Right?
What are some other events you have?
Well, actually,
coming up as
that is our last event for the year, but we do have I think it's the Cleary Company. They're coming in. They work with security on college campuses, and if they like what they see, if this seems to work, if we create enough awareness, they want to see if they can bring this to other universities across America, not just the 5 within Pact5, but like throughout New Jersey and all the other states.
Now, how do people get in touch with you guys?
Okay, so we have a website. It's www.pact5.org, but we also have an email, rowanpact5@gmail.com. So if they have any information, questions, or just concerns, they can always contact us.
And if anybody ever has a concern or needs advice about sexual assault, is there a way, confidentially that they can get advice from you?
Yes, our website has tons of information about how to get help as well as their rights. But if they have something that they immediately need to contact somebody, they can call 1-800-656-HOPE, which is our Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, and it's a 24-hour hotline.
Can you just repeat that number again so anyone
Yes,
listening?
1-800-656-HOPE.
Okay. Thank you guys so much, Jessica and Jerald, for being with us today. It's a very serious topic, and you guys are tackling it as best as you can, so we really appreciate that. We will be right back after this short break.